That here we are, an undeclared war. I mean, anytime, and thank God we haven't lost any American military at this point, but we certainly have fired a bunch of missiles. And we're spending millions and millions of dollars, probably billions by now, and we're helping other countries. What is the protection if Libya is Gaddafi and Gaddafi is Libya, or at least it has been for a period of time, and we have made these loans to their affiliate or to Libya banks, their relationships? What happens in a wartime situation where we're trying to drive Gaddafi out of business and we have made these loans to him or to Libya? How do you explain that to that person that each and every one of us, both sides of the political aisle, have talked about today that can't get the loans? How do you explain this to Walter Jones, who happens to be a member of Congress, so he can explain it to his people back home?
So Arab Banking Corporation is a bank that is located in Bahrain. It's not located in Libya. It was, at the time that it borrowed from the Federal Reserve, it was not, the Libyans bought a substantial part of that bank after all the loans that were extended by the Federal Reserve were repaid. We work with the Treasury Department and the State Department, which the Treasury and State Department have responsibility for identifying banks that the United States should not deal with because of for foreign policy reasons. The responsibility for designating those banks rests with Treasury and the State Department. We consult with them to make sure that we don't lend to institutions that they have determined we should not be lending to. At the time that our credits were extended, Arab Banking Corporation was not identified by Treasury or State Department as a bank that was of concern. It was a foreign bank that had an operation in the United States that was well rated in all other respects, like another foreign bank from a foreign country.
Mr. Chairman, I tell you, knowing that you for many years had picked up more and more support for your bill, legislation to audit the Federal Reserve, I wish, truthfully, and it has nothing to do with you gentlemen here today, but I'm telling you that the distrust out here by the American people is as deep and severe as I've ever seen. And it does, not only Congress itself, not only the administration, but the Federal Reserve is just at this point at a very low ebb as it relates to trust. And I'm not talking about you personally. You're two men of high integrity, I know that. But right now, the Federal Reserve is not held in high esteem by many people in this country. I'll yield back.
I thank the gentleman. I have a few short questions, and then we'll finish up. The one thing is, on a follow-up on what Mr. Jones says, is the confidence is very low. But when you speak of independence, and I understand your terms, and I disagree with the need for that, but I understand it. But what people hear when you say independence, they hear secrecy. You know, you're going to keep it from us. And like the point I made at the beginning, the SEC is to pressure companies to reveal information, where the Federal Reserve does the opposite. They want, no, we can't tell anything because it might disturb the markets. But I do have one question. During the crisis, or any time that you're aware of, has the Federal Reserve or Treasury participated in any gold swaps arrangements?
We don't. The Federal Reserve does not own any gold at all. We have not owned gold since 1934. So we have not engaged in any gold swaps.
But it appears on your balance sheet that you hold gold.
What appears on our balance sheet is gold certificates. When we turned before 1934, the Federal Reserve did own gold. We turned that over by law to the Treasury and received in return for that gold certificate.
If the Treasury entered into, because under the Exchange Stabilization Fund, I would assume they probably have the legal authority to do it. They wouldn't be able to do it then because you have the securities for essentially all the gold?
No, we have no interest in the gold that is owned by the Treasury. We have simply an accounting document that is called gold certificates that represents the value at a statutory rate
and still,
that we gave to the Treasury in 1934.
And still measured at $42 an ounce, which